the fielder at gully. So, new bowler at the river end.
Decided to go with Talek in this instance there. He's done a lot of fielding so far this match, but this is his first chance to roll the arm over.
Seems to be a right arm mediumish sort of bowler. Let's see what he can produce.
Keep it not up to the stumps.
Seems to be a bit of a Will Bateman, really. Just plodding up to the crease and just rolling the arm over. For some reason, the keeper is not standing up to the stumps.
If Will is watching the telecast, please keep watching.
Oh, left it alone, Dwyer. And remember that all the old footage from Channel 8 back 10 years ago is available on our YouTube channel. Into bowl, and it's cut, and they decide not to take the run because it's fielded there in the covers.
I know you've got a lot of favourite memories there off that those archives, and
absolutely
fantastic work by the team to getting it all on YouTube.
Yes.
It wasn't just one person.
No.
Talking again, Dwyer prodding at it, and lofted block, which is not the best thing to hear when you're talking about your shot. But
well, I had to call in some favours to get the actual equipment needed to get that archived footage digitally restored. So people who helped me along the way with that equipment definitely deserve some kudos for that as well.
Exactly right, and hopefully they are also watching with Will as the last ball of this 21st over. He's going to be left footing the keeper. So main over, 1 for 68.
Okay, so we've had the double change. Now we've got Anderson, right arm medium fast, bowling at the childcare centre end with the very fashionable man bun, as always.
Was the chief destroyer in the first innings with 4 wickets. Starts off with a ball down the leg side. Will be in the running for our man of the match. He also made a 30 in his innings opening the batting, so...
But of course he will not be eligible for any votes in the Channel 8 Player of the Year vote tally, which of course are only eligible for Diamond Creek players.
Exactly right, so fortunately there are 2 different awards.
Yes. And full toss, and it's driven, and it beats the fielder at mid-off. The field-off did not die for it, and the mid-on fielder has to run around and chase it and throws it in, and they just get the 1. And don't forget, of course, the final award, which is the Chukka Wilson Player of Excellence, which is just the award I give to any player who I feel embodies the spirit of the game in the most fashionable and honest and sportsmanly manner.
I know that every player strives for that award when they begin with cricket.
Absolutely, especially those who have heard of it. As Anderson into bowl, and left alone, a very a bit of a nothing ball there. No pace on it, and it barely got to the keeper. Slip, gully, no, it's a slip, second slip, third slip, then point, cover, mid-off, mid-on, square leg, fine leg. Anderson into bowl. Oh! Just falls short.
Perhaps even dropped there. I'll take a look on the action replay there, but good bowling there from Anderson. It's just easing into his spell, not quite as menacing as he was last week there, and I reckon that's carried. So that's a missed chance for Lob Plenty. They're going to have to start taking these ones if they're going to get back in the race for outright.
Anderson into bowl. And again, Dwyer plays it away. So I've noted, Dwyer throughout his entire time at the crease has had this technical problem, and yet he hasn't been exposed to it. So either he is adjusting enough to prevent it being exposed, or the lower plenty bowls are not on tune enough to actually do the such.
Seems a little bit like they're going for the motions. I'll put it towards the bowlers as Anderson.
And it's 1 run from it. It's 69 for 1. Alright, so we're going to see the second over from
Talek here, medium pace.
and down the leg side.
When he tells the story later about that ball, it will be too much swing.
Yes.
So the 33rd over of today's play, we've almost reached the halfway point. More and more likely he is avoiding outright here. Farrow defence back to the bowl.
And like I said a little bit while ago, it is all up to the lower plenty captain to just give up and say, okay, we can't win, we're going to call the game off, because the Diamond Creek captain will take it immediately when the offer is made. And it's a pull, and it's over the head of... Was that a drop catch or not?
It actually was a drop catch there. They will still manage to get two. Nothing too damage about that. Caldera's not seemingly getting his throws up to the keeper, so always two in it. But yeah, another missed opportunity. We've had two in the last, say, 6 deliveries.
Oh dear. So yeah, as soon as the lower plenty captain feels like the maps is too far and the outright victory is gone, he'll just concede the game. Because there's no compulsory overs that have to be bowled.
There's only a maximum, which is 136 match overs, which they could play till. There'll be more to broadcast.
Yes. And well, and it's been the gap between cover and mid-off, and the cover fielder has to run out to the deep cover boundary and pick it up, and he chucks it in, and they get two.
There's another option as well for O'Connor how to use this time, and that's to give his other bowlers a bowl. And he's actually done a little bit so far with Talek and Addison to a lesser extent, bowling some overs. Might be an opportunity to test his next line of bowlers up to the front line 4 or 5.
And driven off the full toss, and the mid-on fielder has to scramble, and he does. End of the over. 73 for 1. Okay, so there's about 15 minutes to go before the lunch break, which you'd expect about 5 overs if they continue their bowling rate as they are currently. Maybe they'll slow things down only at the 4, we'll see. 73, so the lead is about, the deficit is about 30. And Dell defended off the back foot by Dwyer. So, with 5 overs to go, if they continue to score 3 runs and over, they'll go score 15. The score will be in the late 80s, so they'll be about 15 runs behind at the lunch break with 9 wickets in hand.
Would be a really good position with Anderson.
Ooh. And then you have to really work out the maths, and it's almost impossible because only 1 wicket down means that there's just no hope of taking 9 wickets in 10 overs and somehow being able to chase down the runs in the final hour of the day's play.
There's one short and left alone from Dwyer, not taking the opportunity to cut.
That's the difference between being 1 wicket down and being, say, 5 wickets down, because if it was 5 wickets down right now, lower plenty would know the numbers that need to be crunched, but right now, 1 wicket down, they're just so too far behind the game. And left alone outside the off stump. That ball seemed to be a leg cutter, where it just he moved his fingers over the ball and it just bounced, it spun a little bit away from the right-hander.
Clever bowling there from Anderson. He's trying things there to bring about the 2nd wicket, and you never know after that.
Anderson, and it's driven a full toss, and the fielder at point goes to ground to collect it.
It'd be a masterstroke if O'Connor can work out how to get 9 wickets at this point. He has been trying things. He's been giving these other bowlers a bowl.
Oh, left alone. That was a good ball from Anderson, but Dwyer was up for it. So that's the end of the over to maiden. It is still 73 for 1. Okay, so we're going to see
Talek again.
Talek again. So they're sticking to this. The keeper is still a metre or so back than what he was last over. Talek into bowl, and it's down the leg side. It's a kind of a gibberish ball, and Farrow does not go for it. Fine leg is up, so we've got a short fine leg, square leg, a very squarish mid-wicket.
This one is full and not over pitch, but Farah's still taking it on. This one will roll out towards the boundary there, so there will be enough boundary to him. Unfortunately for a lot of playing sake, because Talek is spraying the occasional ball down leg side, it probably prevents your keeper keeping up to the stumps there. Because what you want him to do is be comfortably taking it outside off. You don't want him to having to worry about cleaning up the leg side delivery. So, unless it's of course a surprise ball, we'll try and get a stumping.
Talek into bowl, and it's short, and it's cut, and it's over the head of the mid-off fielder, and it dribbles on to the under the shade area for another boundary.
This is the thing that Farah can do at his best there. When he puts away your pretty good ball, not necessarily the best ball as Talek's bowling his spell, but it forces him to try and change something just because he doesn't want to get hit for another boundary. Ball's too short, gets hit for the other boundary.
Oh, wanted to go for the 3 in a row, but missed it.
So he definitely does throw balls off their length, and when you're bowling medium pace, the thing you rely on more than anything else is your length.
Talek into bowl, and it's down the leg side again, and the keeper misses it, and the short fine leg fielder has to run back.
Have some pad there, and yes, the lemon leg by.
So we're into the 80s.
Pretty good decade there, as
Yes.
this one's blocked away from Dwyer for no run. So that's the end of the 25th over of the innings. It's 1 for 82.
Okay, so the lunch break is fast approaching. We're seeing another over from Anderson, right arm medium fast at the childcare centre end. This is his 3rd. Anderson into bowl, and Farah drives it, and it's through the gap at mid-wicket, but the mid-on fielder can run around, and they decide to just go for the 1.
Nearly done there at mid-on. Good chase to keep it to just the 1 run. And gives Anderson an opportunity to bowl consecutive deliveries at Dwyer. We do harp on it a little bit, but just because of the fact that Farah is really comfortable with the crease, and Dwyer has shown a sign or two that maybe he's still not quite there yet.
Yeah, like I said, Dwyer's been in for a long time. He has that obviously technical problem, and yet he hasn't been exposed, and he is starting to hit the ball a bit better than he was when he was in. So Anderson into bowl. It's a full toss, and Dwyer pushes it off the half volley to the fielder at cover. So there's no fielder at fine leg, 3 fielders on the leg side saving 1, and 3 fielders on the offside saving 1, and 3 slips. Anderson into bowl, and left alone, well left alone by Dwyer.
The 3 slips does surprise me a little bit there, considering that there's really only been 1 edge that's fallen in that direction there, which just carried to 2nd slip. I would have thought maybe a 3rd slip can come in front of the wicket.
Yep. Anderson into bowl. Oh, that is the ball. That is the ball where it starts to leave the batsman and it's away from him, and Dwyer really has to push at it with his arms, not with his body weight. That's the most dangerous ball for Dwyer. Anderson into bowl. Oh, thick outside edge. That did not make Dwyer look comfortable. It was at the body, and he wasn't unsure whether to turn his wrists to play it on the leg side or keep his bat straight. And in the end, it was a thick outside edge for a dot ball to point.
And this is the thoughts about having the catcher man in front of the wicket, because he is in for so long.
And left alone.
That yeah, he's playing it a bit better than what he was in the start innings. It's less likely to go through the slips.
It's 83 for 1. So it is 2:57 now, which you would expect it to be the last over before the dinner break, and there appears to be a change of the bowling.
Very spread field here for Farah, so could either be potentially doing one of 2 things. Either 1, looking to try and get a call on the fence, or 2, giving him the 1 and trying to get Dwyer on strike.
Yep. And yep, every fielding position is pretty much 5 meters further back than they were for the frontline seamers. Mid-off and mid-on are both on the fence. There is a silly mid-off, and fine leg is sort of deep. Okay, so this new bowler comes into bowl. Oh dear. Right up, left arm slow. It barely makes it to the keeper.
Chilcott being the man who's come on to bowl.
Chilcott into bowl, and left alone by Farah.
So, with your left arm medium pacer, I'd like the keeper to come up.
Yeah.
Just to put a little bit more pressure on the batsman. It's one of the things that they haven't really done.
So, oh, wide.
Because what it does is it sort of throws off your game there. When you're banging the keeper's back, you can find it easy to get into a rhythm. But if you do change up and come up, it does force them to think about the keeper as well as your own batting.
Oh, it's a big shot, and the fielder at long on. Oh, it's a drop catch, and it goes through his fingers for 4. That was probably the match.
Well, that actually wasn't great filling there from Kildare. It got everything into position, perfect spot. Hands seemed okay, but burst through it, so perhaps he was just late on the catch.
From what I saw, he took way too long to get into position, and he just couldn't get his hands right in time as Chilcott bowls, and it's a quick single. Farah doing the smart thing of taking the run.
Not often you run a quick single to the man in the deep.
Yes. So Dwyer now, so let's have a look at the change of the field. So long on and long off come into mid off and mid on. The short or the silly mid off goes into slip, and fine leg is doing something. Chilcott comes into bowl, and left alone at a wide, but the the umpire decides not to call it a wide. Just I want to get to lunch, even though that was wider than the wide that was called. So Chilcott into bowl, and left alone there by Dwyer. Very, very mature batting from Dwyer. So it's 89 for 1 with just 14 runs behind. And let's just see what's happening out here. Okay, so yep, Anderson is continuing to bowl. We're about to speak. That's right. Don't speak. Anyway, Anderson. So 14 runs behind.
So they come a long way from that first innings where they were on half the runs and all the wickets were out.
Yep. Just an amazing turnaround for Diamond Creek. As Anderson into bowl, and well played by Farah. Put a full ball defensive block straight to the fielder at cover. So there's 4 fielders in the covers. There's backward point, cover point, cover mid off, and then on the leg side there's mid on and square leg, mid wicket, sorry. And Farah just pushes it away for a dot ball again. And then in the slips we've got 1 slip, 1 third slip.
I'd say a third slip. You could certainly fit another gentleman in between that gap there.
Anderson into bowl. And it's a pull shot, and it gets the gap in the mid-wicket region, and the fielder has to really make a chase for it.
All in vain as it gets to the boundary there. So Farah has played that hoik quite well there through mid-wicket there when the length hasn't been quite right. So Anderson's probably got to push up a lot more than that. Even if they do play it as a glance for a single through mid-wicket, that's okay. It's just a matter of not making sure that you don't give the fielders having to pitch up from the boundary.
Yep. Anderson into bowl, and well defended there. Oh, it beats the gap at the at the third slip, but then the point fielder runs around, is able to prevent a run being taken.
Did well there, Talek there at backward point. He's, yeah, hasn't necessarily had the best day in the field, but he did well there to save one.
Anderson into bowl, and it's pulled, and the fielder, the fielder at square leg, what did he?
He's completely missed it, and it's actually found its way to the boundary there. Another piece of probably disappointing feeling there from low playing there. We think back to the missed opportunities that they've had, and there's also been those missed fields.
And they're just having the relay throw back it in. It is 97 for 1.
Sure, fly ball over.
Okay, so this is the 29th over of Diamond Creek's innings, and the time is 3 minutes past 3.
So without much doubt, this will be the last over there, with Chukka bowling left arm medium pace there at the river end.
They could get into the black before lunch. This is incredible from Diamond Creek. And well defended there. It was full at about leg stump, and Dwyer pushed it for a dot ball.
Really big. Is that where's this been all summer for the 4th 11 of Diamond Creek there? They've been smashed up until late last Saturday, and been good since then.
Chukka got into ball. And defended there, fielded by the gully.
Remembering that low playing were none for 61, so they took 9 for 86, and now 1 for 97.
Yeah, this has been an amazing turnaround for Diamond Creek. Just as disappointing it's so far late. And left alone. Everything from lunch last week, so for 68 overs, the last 68 overs of play, Diamond Creek have been in control and have been dominating this game.
Chukka again. This one is short of a length and push out comfortably to point. Not often you find a team has been on top for 2/3 of the match and yet will lose, and lose relatively comfortably in the end.
Yep. Chukka into bowl. And down the leg side. It's been quite like this gives such an indication of just what Diamond Creek 2 can do as the 4th 11 of this team, what they actually are capable of. And and O'Connor does take the catch. He seemed to not be prepared for that, and he went to ground a split second too late than he should have, but in the end he was able to hold on to the ball and keep on control of the way his body fell to the ground.
Pretty cleverly bowled there from Chukka. Didn't do a lot wrong with his delivery there, and yeah, well held by the skipper there.
Alright, so it's 2 for 97. The players are walking off now. The score, that was a wicket maiden, so the score is still on 97, and it is 2 wickets down. Diamond Creek have a red in single figures, so they could get into the black. As Farah gets a warm round of applause.
Dwyer also deserves it as well, considering that the partnership was 67. Considering the first innings when they all bowled out for 43, the fact that they've had a partnership of 24 more than that speaks a lot about their character, which they've shown a lot of since lunch on day 1.
Yes. So you would expect Diamond Creek to get into the black within the first couple of overs of the resumption of play after the lunch break. And then the question is, how long does the Lower Plenty captain think that there is a chance of actually bowling out Diamond Creek for an outright victory? And as soon as he gives up hope, the game is over.
Well, you think about how many runs Diamond Creek will score, depending on how many overs they bat there. So if we consider it now that it's about line ball, in terms of, say, about even though Lower Plenty have a slight lead of 6. If Diamond Creek, say, bat of the 29 overs, say, 16, 17, that'll then be, you would consider too late, especially if Farah's still batting. And that's saying a lot, taking a wicket every 2 overs to get to that point even. If, of course, they get by for less time, I think gives Lower Plenty a chance when you've got guys like Macca there who can lift the tempo with the bat, keeps them in the game for an outright. But you would think it'd have to come within that 15 or 16 over bracket of the 29 remaining.
Okay, so now we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break for the lunch. And so when we get back, we are going to see ball one of the second session. And so it's time for now a break. You are watching Channel 8, the local sports network, in association with Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. This is day 2 of round 3 of the F2 Division 2017-18. Diamond Creek 2 versus Lower Plenty at the Mungrook Oval. This is Remembrance Day. It is a glorious sunny day. We will see you after this break.
I hate you because I don't agree with what you do, because you never seem to have a clue what's wrong or right. You disgust me, writing with your left hand like it's right. I think you're gonna start a fight tonight if you're not careful. And there's only 1 in 10 of us that's broken. Why can't you just use your right hand like a normal joke hand? I hate you, cause every time you're picking up a pen, you're only trying to get the children to copycat you. You're a sinner. The Bible spells it out in black and white. Why you think we read it from left to right? Is that an accident? The scribes who wrote the Bible saw the link. They never would have let their hands get smeared up in the ink. Oh, and some say it's genetics that makes you who you are. They lie and say you haven't got a choice, but you can learn to use the chosen hand. Sloppy writing's not the end. I hate you, cause you always wanna rub it in my face. All you lefties never seem to know that there's a time and there's a place. Well, I hate you, and equal rights were never gonna part with. Why you think we called them rights to start with? They ain't for you. Well, I hate you.